Goodness. My goodness.
I don't hear you. Why is all the homicide victims under the age of 20, 63% of them happen in Liberty City up to 2020? I still don't hear you. Why?
Goodness.
We should be asking ourselves this question. Why? And then you begin to study. I began to research. I had to research it, right? I had to research, and then not only research it from the book, because then I realized the things I was hearing and seeing in the office was not occurring in the empirical research articles and the journal articles that we had to read, Dr. Stevens, Dr. Eaton. They weren't there. They were not in there. Like all of this, we call it phenomena. So when something happens that, you can't name it, we call it the phenomena. So all these phenomena are occurring and you're hearing it, and all of them look like me. And I look like them. So I had to investigate and interrogate, why is it happening in Liberty City? So we said, well, squad, we're going to have this conversation with the people in the community. We're not going to sit in this office. We're going to go out there and we're going to have this conversation. Didn't we, Michelle? We sure did. Miss Perkins, didn't we? We went into the community and we had to share your experience of this. Didn't we, Rebecca? Didn't we, Chief Morales? Because y'all came to them. And we talked to the people in the community, and we found out what their needs were, and we started co-designing solutions based upon their input, because they know the problem better than us in academia do. Marxist theory says that the ones who experience the problem the most has a unique skill set.
Wow.
And how to solve it.
Wow.
Amen?
Amen.
Amen. So we had to find a way that we could work together, because oppression theory says, or not oppression theory, empowerment theory says that in order to help someone on the journey of empowerment is that you had to go through the journey yourself. Right? So when people build these wonderful solutions to community problems, you say, well, did you ask the people if that's what they want? Because people know what they need. All you got to do is ask them. They will tell you what they need. It's not a secret. We got our sports, but we got all this good stuff. And it's good stuff. But that don't mean it's going to work for them. You got to ask the people. We call it human-centered design and social work. So we began to go out there and we began to interrogate and ask these difficult questions that we don't normally ask. And you know what happened to me? Because I began to ask the question, I began to see some things, right? I'm good at seeing trend lines. I can see trend lines as a counselor, and I can see trend lines as a business person, and I can see trend lines in everybody's life except my own for some reason. That's why I don't hire people. I have a team to hire because I pick the worst ones. Some about my traumatic experiences, I just zone in on the wrong person each and every time. So, but I can see trend lines, right? And so I began to ask questions and begin to interrogate. And I'm not an antagonizing person, but there is something weird, weird about how structural systems, and when I talk about structural systems, I'm talking about governmental agencies and governmental systems build these strategies that they say is for the community. They say that we're going to build this strategy, this unified strategy to tackle gun violence, but they stack it with the people at the top. Yes. The structural systems are in control and in charge. And that's not, how is that equity? Question, how is that equitable? How is that elevating the voices of the people who experience the problem the most? It is not. And so I began to ask questions, and we lost the sponsorship because I asked questions. We lost the sponsorship to this event because we asked questions. But I'm going to continue to ask questions, and I'm going to continue to interrogate, and I'm going to continue to investigate, because far too long, the people that has to bear the burden of the cost of the pluralistic ignorance that we continue to.
Come on. Speak it. Speak it. Speak it, bro. Speak it.
The ones who have to bear the price of the pluralistic ignorance are the ones who can afford it the least. These structural systems come and block out our voices so we don't get to say anything. We just have to do what they say they're going to do. And they come in our communities and they collect our data. And you start asking, well, who is getting this data? Because data is where the money is, right? When you own the data. So I'm like, well, why don't we have data sharing agreements? Huh? This is crazy. Why are you out here interviewing a vulnerable population and don't even have... Those of us who are social scientists, we better not dare go into a community and interview a vulnerable population without having an IRB, Internal Review Board, protections for the vulnerable population. And they violate that principle, and I have to sit there because I'm not an antagonist and I'm not trying to start a war and start a fight, but I can't. And I won't. Because I grew up in the same community and it was done to me too. So just like the other Me Too movement, I need you all to join me. I need you to join with me. I need you to join with me and say, time is up. Time is up. Time is up. They ain't getting it yet. Let's try it again. Time is up.
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 Time has to be up because 63% of the homicides under the age of 20 are happening in Liberty City. They ain't happening in no other city. And if it was happening in another city, you'll raise up and say, well, why the hell is this happening? And you'll do something about it. If it was somebody in your community where you live that did not live in Liberty City, and you kept seeing that people under the age of 20 was being murdered on the streets, you wouldn't allow that in your community. So why do you allow it here? Time is up.
Time is up.
Where the pastors at?
Time is up.
Tell them what type of audience we need. Huh? Time is up. Okay. How many minutes I've been up here? How many? I got a lot to say. But you know what? They're ready to party. I'm partying right now. Hey. So I thank the chief because when I called the chief and I said, Chief, we gonna go out here and we're gonna do these conversations with the community to find out what the needs are and we're gonna put it together. And the chief said, I'm with you. And not only did he say, I'm with you, but he brought his department to be with us. And they come to our community collaborative meeting every first Wednesday of the month. So we thank you, Chief. And Ken, we said, Ken, we need you to come in here. And Ken said, well, we got this how many millions of dollars y'all invested in communities, Ken? Say it out loud. How many? How much? 30 billion. Bees.
Big bees. The bee.
And Ken come out into the meetings and, Ken know about this work. He knows about this work. And he come and teaches and he come and inspires and he come and help out. And we appreciate you, Ken. And then we have Dr. Stevens. Dr. Stevens. Dr. Stevens' first name is Patricia. Most of the times you get Dr. Stevens. But you get her wrong, you will get Patricia. And you don't want Patricia. Dr. Stevens was the one that first